Hello students, I'm here with another video from the chapter of class 10 Science NCERT book. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So children, we have discussed the one of the life process, that is nutrition in plants as well as in the animals. And in that we found that the different plants, different animals, they have different modes of nutrition. So they gain energy by eating food. Now how is that food taken up? The food is taken up by various processes, by various steps, where we have seen that the basic holozoic mode of nutrition is dependent upon some of the basic steps. That is, these steps are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So as a result of this nutritional process, the animal's body and the plant's body, I mean the animal's body is going to gain some nutrition. They are going to gain the nutrition. It means that they are going to gain some energy, which is being used up by the body, and they are able to help the body to work, to maintain, to grow. Okay, so we already know that food is the main source of energy, as it is known to be as a fuel. So the next process which we were studying was this respiration. Okay, so what do you mean by respiration? Respiration means it is a process by which it combines with breathing plus oxidation of food. What does this respiration means? It means that breathing plus oxidation of food. So we were studying this. Okay, so here it says that whenever we are talking about the oxidation of food, we are talking about the breathing of breathing of any of the organism. We can see that whenever the process of respiration has to go on, it is going to be continued as the breathing. Okay, and whenever we breathe, then the molecules of the food molecules, okay, which is being stored in the form of the energy currency, that is ATP. Okay, this breaks. When this breaks, it also provides us energy. So this is what we are studying in the respiration. So children, yesterday we have discussed about the types of respiration. The types of respiration, where we saw basically the respiration is of two types. First one was the aerobic respiration, and the second one is the anaerobic respiration. Okay, so if we talk about this aerobic respiration, it means that it is a respiration where the oxygen is involved. It means that the oxidation of food will take place in the presence of oxygen. Okay, whereas in anaerobic respiration, it means that it is just opposite of this aerobic mode of respiration, which means that in the absence of oxygen, the food is going to give us energy. Food is going to burn to give us energy. That is why food is said to be as the fuel. Because we know, according to the definition of fuel, it says that whenever something which is burnt and it gives energy. What is a fuel? Fuel is a substance which burns to give energy. Okay, similarly here food acts as fuel because this food is going to burn and forms energy. Okay, so this food is said to be as the fuel. Fine. Now next what we have to study was this aerobic respiration, where I told you that whenever the oxygen is involved in the aerobic respiration, it is going to give us energy, because food is burning, food is getting oxidized, and as soon as it oxidizes, it is going to release energy. And once this food is broken down, or ATP is being broken down, it releases energy. Similarly, whenever the inorganic phosphate is going to combine with the ADP, is going to give us energy and forms ATP. Okay, so it says that whenever the food is breaking down, it is not going to use up all the energy which is being generated. So some of the energy it is going to be stored. Where it is being stored? It is going to be stored in the mitochondria. Even the synthesis also is taking place inside the mitochondria. Okay, so with this we have already completed the aerobic respiration. I'll just tell you about the anaerobic respiration, children. Okay, so this in anaerobic mode of respiration, it takes place in the absence of oxygen. This is the basic concept. Now, whenever anaerobic respiration could also occur as the fermentation reaction, which I have already discussed. Okay. Second thing, it could happen in the muscles. In the muscles. Okay. Now, this fermentation reaction was taking place in the yeast, where yeast cell is going to use the glucose and the sugar to give rise to the various product, that is ethanol, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, even some amount of energy is being released. I said there was 2 ATP which was being released. Okay, so the energy which was being released in anaerobic respiration was lesser than that of the aerobic mode of respiration. That is why, children, the small bacteria could easily grow into the various they could easily grow by using that such a small amount of energy, because their body is small, their body requirement is also very small. But what about human beings, the animals which are larger in its they are larger and they are multicellular. Okay, so what happens, they are going to the multicellular animal, they will always undergo the process, they will take up the process of aerobic mode of respiration, which requires energy, because the demand for the oxygen, the demand for the energy is always high in the higher organisms. Okay, so for that they always go for the aerobic mode of respiration. Okay, so we have already seen where the glucose is going to combine with oxygen to form water, carbon dioxide, where it was said that carbon dioxide is treated as the waste material, whereas the water is not treated as a waste material. Okay, then energy is being released. After that, here the second type of the anaerobic respiration is the glucose breaks down to form what it is going to form. It forms lactic acid. Okay, it breaks down to form lactic acid plus energy. If glucose is going to break down to form the ethanol plus energy. Okay, even carbon dioxide is also here the carbon dioxide and energy is being released. So the fate of glucose could be of 3 types. Okay, if we are studying about the animals, the fate of glucose could be of 3 types. So here I am discussing about the glucose. If it is breaking down inside the muscles, then what is happening to it? If it is breaking down in the muscles, then it is going to form this lactic acid and the energy. Okay, so with this what we are studying is the anaerobic type of respiration which is taking place in the muscles. And children, please remember that when this energy is being used and when our muscles are going to undergo with this anaerobic mode of respiration. See, when the demand is high, which demand I'm talking about? The demand for oxygen is high. When is the demand of oxygen very high? When you are doing some strenuous job, means whenever you are doing some physical activities, like if you are running or if you are walking, if you are on a brisk walking, then what happens? The muscles of our foot, the muscles of our legs, they require more amount of energy. Now, the lungs are already doing pulmonary respiration. Whenever we are doing aerobic respiration, but to meet the demands of the muscles, to meet the demands of the body, the aerobic respiration is not sufficiently going to provide the oxygen to all the parts of the body very fast, very swiftly. If you are running, you are going to use your leg muscles, but the heart is not pumping at the rate at which you could easily I mean, you could easily supply the energy to the cells of your muscles, to the cells of your leg muscles. So what is that muscle doing? Now that muscles are going to take up their own type of respiration. What they are going to do? They are going to take up their own respiration where they are already having the glucose in them. Okay, because everybody knows that each and every cell is having the glucose in its reserve. Okay, so it is going to now it is going to it is going to release its, or it is going to use up its reserve material. Okay, so here what happens, the glucose which is present in the muscles is going to break into lactic acid to give you energy. Now, one drawback is there for this lactic acid. This lactic acid gets accumulated. Since it is a complex molecule, it is not going to be circulated very easily. It is not going to be broken down very easily. It starts accumulating. It starts accumulating, okay, where? In your muscles, and it causes cramps, it causes muscle cramps, it causes the sharp pain in your muscles. Okay, so if these muscles are undergoing the anaerobic mode of respiration, then lactic acid and energy is going to be formed. Energy is going to be utilized instantaneously, whereas this lactic acid is getting accumulated. Because this is acting as a waste material, we are not using this lactic acid, so it gets accumulated in the blood cells and when in the muscles. Okay, and then what happens after that? This lactic acid is getting dissolved after some time. It is not going to be quickly dissolved. It is going to be dissolved. It takes some time. So till the time this lactic acid is not going to be dissolved, we will feel the sharp cramps in our muscles. We will feel the pain in our muscles. See, if you remember that if you are sitting at your home for some days, or if you are not doing any physical activity, you are not going out for playing, you are not practicing any sports, then what happens? Your muscles, they are normally breathing, they are undergoing the aerobic mode of respiration, and they forget about using their reserve material, or they could also undergo anaerobic mode of respiration, because this is not very similar to the small living organisms, where the yeast cells are, they have a compulsion. A type of compulsion is there, because there is only one mode of respiration, that is anaerobic. Okay, so these single celled organisms, they are able to use that small amount of energy, and then once they are using the small amount of energy, that is sufficient for these yeast cells. Okay, now, but we are talking about the multicellular animal, where the muscle cells, they also undergo this type of anaerobic mode of respiration, but the difference is that they are going to produce the lactic acid. Now, once the lactic acid is going to be produced, it gets accumulated in the muscles. Till the time it is accumulating, it is going to give us the sharp pain. Okay, so this is what is about the cramps. So here, what happens? Whenever the muscles are, see, I said when the body is not doing any physical activity, we are doing only one type of respiration, will take up only one type of respiration, that is the aerobic mode of respiration. But if we talk about the muscle, because and once we started doing the activities, like you have started playing cricket, you started playing some sports, then what happens? The muscles will suddenly start working very fast, and for working very fast, you need to supply oxygen, you need to supply energy to your leg muscles. Okay, you're simply walking, then what happens? You're simply walking, you are having the aerobic mode of respiration, the energy is being released, it is being utilized, but a small amount of energy is being utilized. Okay, now suddenly you start running. Okay, because you can see some danger is there, and you started running on the road, then what happens? So the muscles also will start using, they are going to start making the energy on its own, so that the energy demands could easily be fulfilled by the action of aerobic as well as anaerobic mode of respiration. So both respiration will go on simultaneously. Now please remember that there are three fates of glucose. Now what do you mean by fate? Fate means there are three ways by which the glucose could be glucose is utilized. So what are these three ways? Glucose, from where this is coming? This is coming from food. Okay. Now when it is coming from food, this glucose enters into the cytoplasm. Okay. So this glucose enters into cytoplasm. Okay. This enters into cytoplasm of the cells. Now when it is entering inside the cytoplasm, then what happens? Then okay, I'll write it like this. Glucose is the first product. Okay, it is present in the cytoplasm. Okay, then cytoplasm, the glycolysis will take place. Yesterday I have told you what is glycolysis. Glycolysis means it is a breakdown of glucose in the presence of this glucose breakdown is said to be as glycolysis. Okay, it is going to form pyruvate. Pyruvate is a 3-carbon compound. Okay, so this is going to form 3-carbon compound, and it is a 3-carbon molecule plus energy will be released. Now, this pyruvate is simple to this glucose. Glucose is 6-carbon, C6H12O6, whereas this pyruvate is a 3-carbon compound. Now, the pyruvate will have 3 fates. Okay. This could be utilized by our body into 3 ways. Without oxygen, okay, without oxygen, then again without oxygen, and with oxygen. So there are 3 ways. Either the glucose will convert in the form of pyruvate, this is more simpler compound. Either it is going to go with this first step, that is without oxygen, or it goes with this second step, that is without oxygen. Then it could also take up the third route, that is with oxygen, in the presence of oxygen. Or you can say, in other words, if oxygen is present, if oxygen is not present. Whether this pyruvate has to undergo anaerobic mode of respiration or aerobic mode of respiration. Okay, so it is going to be decided according to the activity, according to the demand of the body. Okay, so if it is taking place in the yeast or in the muscles, then muscles of where? Muscles of human beings. So if it is taking place in yeast or it is taking place in the muscles, then what happens? This forms different compounds. Okay, similarly if it is taking place in mitochondria, if it is taking place in mitochondria. So these 3 places are there where this glucose is being utilized in the form of pyruvate, either with oxygen, without oxygen in the yeast cell or in the muscle cell, or with the oxygen in the mitochondria. Now children, without oxygen in the yeast cell, it is going to do fermentation reaction. The result of fermentation reaction is ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Okay. Similarly, if oxygen is present, then what happens? This oxygen is present. Without oxygen in the muscles, it is going to form lactic acid plus energy. And now, with the mitochondria, if it is present in the mitochondria, if it is being utilized in the mitochondria where energy has to be synthesized, then what happens, children? Then it is going to produce 2 things, that is carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Okay, it provides carbon dioxide, it provides water, it provides energy. Fine. So this is what is about the fate of glucose. So you must all understand if three situations could occur when the glucose is getting synthesized in the cytoplasm. This is going to undergo glycolysis. This is the first step to take up the energy. What happens is pyruvate is going to be formed. Now this pyruvate will be used as a reactant. It is used as a raw material for respiration. So if the cells are yeast, then yeast cells will undergo fermentation reaction. They will undergo with this first step, okay, and form ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. If pyruvate is present in the muscle cells, if the muscle cells are requiring energy, then it could undergo with this second step. And if it is present in mitochondria, it will undergo with this third step. So please remember that these first, second and third steps, they are very much important, and everybody should understand if three places are there for the utilization of energy in the yeast cell, okay, in the yeast cell, in the muscle cells or in the mitochondria. And this is also drawn in your NCERT books. You can see, open your page numbers and then you can see with this same diagram is given, and sometimes this is again an important diagram. This is going to be, sometimes it is going to be asked directly, it is being asked directly or indirectly. So you have to fill in the blanks, or you have to complete, or you have to write all the three steps, okay. And if the situations are given, then you could easily build up the concept and you can write down the same in the form of the points, okay. Now the next thing, energy is made up of ATP. Energy molecule was ATP. Please understand what is this ATP, and I think I have already told you about the ATP molecule in the last class, okay. So this, your types of respiration is over. Now I move on to the next topic, that is gaseous exchange. What is it? Gaseous exchange. Where? In plants. Where? In plants. Okay, how the gaseous exchange is taking place in the plants, or whether the plants also respire or not. So if we talk about the plants, all the plants, they are respiring. How they are respiring? All the plants are going to respire by the process of diffusion of the gases from stomata, okay. So we have the special organs of the leaves, which is present inside the leaves, and with the help of this diffusion process, all the plants are going to respire. If they are respiring through stomata, so what happens? These plants are going to respire through stomata by the process of what? By the process of, the process is respiration by the structure. So when the respiration is taking place in the plants, then plants also respire through stomata by the process of respiration. So when the respiration has to take place inside the plants, it is also going to be done with the help of the stomata. And in the first part, that was the nutrition in plants, we have already discussed about the structure of stomata, which means that they have different, they have two cells, they are said to be as guard cells, which is going to guard the opening and closing of the stomata. If the stomatas are closing, then no exchange of gases is taking place. And also remember that inside the stomata, where from the stomata, what happens? The diffusion takes place. Diffusion takes place, okay? So what kind of diffusion is taking place? What kind of diffusion is taking place? So this diffusion is taking place with the structure called stomata. Fine. So this tells us that plants also show respiration by the process of diffusion with a special organ called stomatas. Now stomatas are of two types. For monocot plants, they have dumbbell shaped stomata, and for dicot plants, they have kidney shaped stomatas. Okay, they have kidney shaped. Okay, so there are two types of stomatas. One is the monocot stomata, that is the dumbbell shaped stomatas, or it could be kidney shaped stomatas. Okay, so if I talk about the dumbbell shaped stomatas, they are like this. Okay, so this is called as the dumbbell shaped stomatas. For monocot, kidney shaped stomatas for dicot. It is being guarded by the two guard cells. This is the stomatal pore where the diffusion is taking place. Oxygen is coming out, carbon dioxide is entering from this stomata. Now monocots have dumbbell shaped stomatas and the dicots have the kidney shaped stomatas. Now the opening and closing of stomatas could also take place with the help of the sugar accumulation. Now what is it? Sometimes see, because of accumulation and the removal of the water molecules also give rise to this opening and closing of the guard cells, which helps the opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, or there could be the presence of the solute, that is the sugar, in the guard cell. Okay, now if the sugar is present, then what happens? During daytime what happens? During night time what happens? Whenever there is more water in the cells, then the turgor pressure of the guard cell increases. Now what do you mean by turgor pressure? How is this gaseous exchange taking place? See, gaseous exchange will not take place till the time stomatas are not opened. So for opening of stomata, there are different processes. So the first process is whenever the water is whenever the water is more inside the cells, inside the stomatal cells. So they will start, the turgor pressure of the guard cell increases. The turgor pressure of the guard cells increases. Okay. Now, when the turgor pressure of the guard cell increases because of the process of endosmosis, I think you might remember what is what do you mean by osmosis, which means that the movement of the water molecule from higher concentration to lower concentration. If these molecules are being separated by a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so here the walls of the stomatas are going to work as a semi-permeable membrane, and it also helps in the opening and closing of stomata. So what happens? The turgor pressure means the pressure which is being made by the water on the walls of a cell, that is known as turgor pressure. So this water is going to make up that pressure inside this guard cell. The guard cell is going to swell and it opens. Okay, the guard cell swells and opens. Fine, the guard cell is going to swell and open. Now, when the loss of water is there, it means that whenever the loss in water in the cells is taking place, the turgor pressure is decreased. Turgor pressure goes down. So it decreases, which causes the shutting of stomata. which causes shutting of stomata by the process called exosmosis. By the process of exosmosis. This is just opposite of this endosmosis. Okay. So with this, the closing of the stomata takes place. Okay, children. So this, because of the opening and closing of the stomata, the exchange of gases is taking place. So with this, I think you all might be understanding how the guard cells are working for the opening and closing of the stomata. Because of the presence of the water inside it, it swells up and it opens. When water is coming out, it is being released outside by the process of transpiration or any means. Then what happens? The water is going to be not present inside the guard cell. The turgor pressure will be decreased. The decreasing in the turgor pressure causes the shutting of the stomatas. Okay. Now the second type is the presence of the salt in the stomata. Okay. So we'll discuss this in the next class. That's all for today's video. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed.